I'm actually going to record because I don't see Holly here. So maybe she'll want to share with her. I don't know. Clearly she was up late last night, so I don't know how her day in life went. All right, here we are, y'all. You are more than halfway through this group. Sorry if I'm like talking low. I just like instinctually in the morning, you're like, talk quiet, don't wake all the kids, even though I don't think I will. Just so proud of you guys for doing this. I mean, I said this to Sandy last night, and Leah didn't, message you. Like, you guys have been showing up. And you haven't just been showing up to do your high five or just showing up to, these groups, but to other things. Like coming to team calls, coming to the calls with Dylan, rewatching them. Just you have been present and active and engaged. And when I was a teacher, I taught my students that like, if you are engaged, you're just going to get more. And engaged is like that sitting up straight, the listening, like leaning in, thinking there's something here for me today. What can I learn? Who can I serve? And just having that learner's mindset, but also the doer action to go with it. And like, y'all have been doing that. And I can say it compounds. Personally, and we're going to kind of talk about that. We're going to talk about the book straight away. So pull out any book notes that you got, or your copy, whatever. Pull it up. I've got it on my phone. We are going to I want to hear from you guys in that. So we're going to talk about kind of this idea of confidence compounding, but consistency compounds in ways that are like so divine, feels so magical that you can't quite track it, but there is something that activates when you show up 5 days a week for your Plexus business, 6 days a week for your Plexus business. Be that a 30-minute power surge. Do you know what I mean? Some days that showing up is not a big amount. But it compounds. So I'm just so excited for you guys, like beginning to see that and just continue to encourage you, keep doing that. That's what this is about. Is you starting to learn this accountability, this consistency builds to a point of abundance. But for me, we'll just jump right into the book. That abundance, if y'all notice, is not it's about a life abundance and an abundance of confidence and trust in yourself. So I hope that you are seeing that. Okay. So I'm literally going to just give us time to talk. What has been coming up for you in reading this book, in practicing high five?
I think I need to implement the 3-second rule.
Yep.
5 seconds is long enough for me to think, I'm going to hit snooze.
Yep.
I'm not going to go walking. I honestly feel like I've been so lazy. It's been very like revealing of my actual actions as opposed to my intentions.
Yeah, so having some of that self-reflection too in there. Mm-hmm. Yep. What about you, Sandy?
Well, I know like in the book where it talks about master your mind, anything is possible, because that's what I struggle with, is my mind telling me I can't do, or all the negative and all those things. So that's really a struggle that I have to work on constantly. Mm-hmm. It's redirecting my thoughts, and so they're not so negative but positive. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. What does that look like? Like what you're working on? Like, is that things come up and you're just redirecting positive thought now? What does that look like exactly?
I'm trying to redirect positive thoughts. I know that for me, the main thing that helps me, if I get into a place to where a lot of negative thoughts, all I need to do is turn my music on, and that helps. But sometimes it's like you get in that place and you don't think about that. So I just have to be more intentional to make sure that I do the things that I know I need to do, even when I don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's good. And one more question. Do you feel like, are there certain like triggers, things that are more likely to put you into those like patterns of a negative thought? Does that make sense? Like, I just had this thought to come to mind. If I, like, I was like, that's actually really smart. Like, if I know that by the end of the day, after the kids haven't napped and I am tired and it's 6 p.m. and I'm just like ready to zone out and not even be present with my kids because I'm just feeling like I've been at this since 6 a.m., you know, like if I know that's going to happen, can I just put something in place like the positive music that I like set an alarm for 6 p.m. that's like positive music, here we go. Like, do you know what I mean? Like preempt that. I don't know. Have you noticed that?
I haven't actually done anything like that. It's just that I know that I should do that. And it's like, as soon as I get to work, I should do that. It just sets the mood for any of the stress and stuff that comes up. But lots of times you get in there and this gets pulled on you, you get pulled here, you pulled there, and you don't. And it's like things are not working out like they're supposed to be, and a lot of stress. And then it's like, oh, my music's not on. I don't have the right atmosphere set. So I've got to be more intentional to make sure I do that first thing.
Can I ask what your music choices are? Sorry, I'm curious. What shifts your mindset? Because I literally actually did that. I got anxiety this week, and I don't get as much as I used to before I used Plexus, but nonetheless, like I like was trying to like really channel Jesus, like for real. And that's like, I turned on some acoustic hymns, but I would love to hear what worked for you.
Well, a lot of the elevation worship music, a lot of the, I don't know, Zach Williams, a lot of those encouraging things. And I'm drawn to right now the ones that talk about fighting fear. Because that's a big thing for me is fear. So any songs like that, just really, I've got like a playlist on YouTube. And so anything I hear, I just add to that and I just play it constantly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Love it.
I know I've talked about this before. I'm sorry, guys. But I just have to, because you're talking about this, I'm so glad that you're here, Sandy, hearing that, because so many of the things that we make ourselves address with this through the business roll over into all areas of our life. And so my first reaction wasn't, oh, what's she scared of doing a Facebook Live? My next thought was, man, how is this affecting the same fear with your business affecting other fears in your life? And when we address it here, we start to address it outside of here. So it makes my heart just like so happy you're here, because I'm and that's not me coming from a place of accomplishment. That's me coming from a place of like, why am I afraid of X, Y, and Z? And how is it affecting our ministry?
Yeah.
And how is it affecting my family relations? Just so many things. So thanks for sharing those songs with me as well. So,
well, thank you for the encouragement. That's one of the things I've picked up from this group is how encouraging and all the positive, and I really love our group.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Y'all, sometimes I come to meetings or a team meeting, you know, like Friday night was one of them where I was like, I'm doing this because I said I was doing this. In weaker days, I would just have canceled this meeting. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just honestly, sometimes you're just like, but then but what I have learned, because I've exercised this muscle of show up, do the thing, is that my cup is always filled, getting together with whatever, other person. And like, I'm always encouraged. I always just feel cheered up and like focused, and, you know, it's 9:00 at night and I'm like, let's go do stuff, you know? So totally. And that's amazing to me that even year after year after year, like that hasn't faded, that community, that support, that encouragement, and it's only gotten richer. Yeah. Okay. Other things coming up. We've got a couple more minutes. Like, what's been going on with you in this group, with this book? You can share a quote. I love that. I mean, it feels daunting to be like, read part 3, but they actually are pretty short. Like I was going back and rereading this week and just thinking, wow, it really does. She says a lot of the same thing over and over. So if you speed read, you don't miss it. But these ones, the chapters about ending anxiety, stopping worry, beating fear. I mean, I feel like this is like getting into some of that meat stuff. So anyone, what else? What's coming up? Oh, let me open the chat. Did make you get financial advisor and stop dreaming and start planning. Love that. Cool. I love her quote, fear will make you do nutty things. It's so true. It's so true. Okay, I was trying to see. I wasn't sure if Leah, you were going to share something. Okay, so I'm going to share some of the things kind of coming up. I love courage and confidence. These are quotes. Confidence means that you believe in yourself, your ideas, and your capabilities. Anyone can learn how to become more confident. Repeat. Anyone can learn how to become more confident in any area. It's not a personality trait, it's a skill. Remember, confidence is created by the small things you do every single day that build trust in yourself. Confidence is created by the small things you do every single day that build trust in yourself. I love that. It just like makes it so simple. So that simple choice to wake up at whatever time and 3, 2, 1 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like, y'all, I set this up. It's probably been 6 weeks. I haven't really tracked it, but I was trying to think back about when I was getting to the end of this book, reading it the first time. It's probably been about 6 weeks. We'll go with that. And I told myself, I wake up early. I always woke up like before 6. But some days I go to bed late and I'd like set the alarm for 5:45. And then some days I'd, set it for 5:30. And I just was like, I'm going to do it. 5:15, that's my time. 5:15, that's my time to wake up. I'm going to have 45 minutes of quiet and prayer time and like get my head wrapped around parenting and life. And then I'm going to work from 6 to 7. And that's just it. And in those early weeks, it was a 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, 1, like it was, some days I was like, okay, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed. But other days it really was a struggle. And this confidence muscle, because I realized like, I like wake up with joy a lot more now. Just like even if I went to bed at 11 and on the weekends is a little annoying. I can't really sleep past like 6 or 6:30, but I wake up like smiling, like, okay, because it's that I've exercised that muscle and I can trust myself that I'm not going to snooze, and it just feels good, like to know that I'm doing this thing. And there's lots of other areas of life that I'm consistent in. But it's amazing how that one thing of like, just really has built that. Working out has been that for me too. Just like being very consistent to show up and work out 5 times a week. Like y'all, back in October, I wasn't working out at all. So I told myself I'll work out 3 times a week. And I like kept pushing that envelope, right? It's almost a year later. And now I've increased 2 more times. Like this is not a overnight whoosh, do it, right? This is a pick one thing, implement one thing. Pick the thing that you think is going to change things, maybe the most, or start small. If it's wake up 15 minutes early, do that. Do you know what I mean? That can make enough of a shift because, and this is another thing I love from Mel, it's not about the outcome of the thing that we do. It's not about the outcome of sending this scary message to someone about plexus and what they do. The outcome that we're looking for is us being proud of us and doing something scared. And I think that was kind of revolutionary for me. Okay. Other things, I've got a couple more quotes here before we go on to some homework things. Y'all, anything else? other things. Her other quote, similar, the more that you practice acts of courage in those everyday small bits of courage, the more you will believe you're in control of your life, which is victor mindset, right? Like not victim, but victor mindset. You are in control of your life. You're not a victim. You're not just reacting to the things that happen. That has been preaching to me. And as a result, the more confident you'll become. Every time you push yourself to speak when you're nervous, act when you're afraid, get to the gym when you don't feel like it, you realize you can rely on yourself to get anything done. I love that. If you're looking for other encouragements in this area, I feel like Rachel Hollis, I know some people love her, some people don't, but she was really good about teaching this perspective to me. Like oftentimes we are the first to break our own commitments to. Like you can say, well, I committed to myself that, I'm going to not eat any chocolate this week or whatever it is, and then where like you'll break it. Or I committed to myself that, I'm going to wake up Saturday morning and I'm going to have 1 hour to just be by myself. And I'm going to go off to a coffee shop and that's what I'm going to do. And then like you get up and the kids or the husband or the busy and you think, oh, I don't really need that 1 hour. Surely like Jesus can just cover me for that. And we break the commitment. Whereas if it was a friend that you were waking up to go get coffee with, darn well, you'd be like, sorry, gotta go, gotta honor that commitment. And so I just love that idea of like, yeah, we got to talk to ourselves I love the verse of like, love others or, oh my gosh, the second commandment, love others as you love yourself. There is that assumption that I must love myself pretty darn well. Because honestly, y'all, a lot of times, if I was loving other people like I loved myself, there'd be a lot of hate. There'd be a lot of negativity of all the things that, we say to ourselves, the way that we treat ourselves, even in those little choices of breaking it. It's like, shoot, God was just assuming that we were all good to ourselves, on our best days. And we are on our best days. So anyways, I think just recognizing that takes time to grow that muscle. And so muscle, it takes time. Like we tell our people, be patient for 90 plus days on the products. How long have we been dealing with, a negative mindset or living out of fear? It takes years, and it's definitely one that I keep relearning. So, okay. I feel like I just got preachy there. So somebody else, share a comment. I always think about the process of growing into a nurse. Scared as crap, but growth. Slight Edge is the perfect book to follow this book if you're looking for suggestions. Yes.
Sorry, those comments came at different times. I always associate what I'm scared of doing here and what I avoid here. I'm like, if this was the process of me becoming a nurse, I wouldn't have that option. Somebody codes, I have to go in the room. I've never done compressions before. You have to do it. I've never given an IV drug before. You have to do it. And the more you do it, the more you're like, you become, the confidence. So I was just kind of like, what you're saying with the confidence is a skill that's learned. So true. And then then moving on, I felt like Slight Edge is the perfect book to follow up with this, because we read Slight Edge, but it's almost like what's keeping me from doing those little things to move the needle forward. I feel like the 5-second rule helps break that. So it's kind of like, this is a good tool to have to start applying a Slight Edge. I feel like it's a good book to follow up with.
Yeah.
If you guys are looking for a suggestion. Yeah.
Very good. And I loved, I actually think I'm going to pull it back out, guys, and go through it again. Towards the beginning of the year, doing high performance habits. That because it's like, okay, well, what are the things that I can do that are going to move that? And Leah, I don't know if at the Global Leadership Summit, they talk about, like, I would love to hear some of the books that they suggest and, things they're recommending. But high performance habits was like these are the things that they have studied, researched, people who are high performing. And like, we're talking across the board, not just like work high performing or relational high performing, but like across the board high performers. What does that look like? And what are the characteristics and traits and habits that they have that have brought them to this, right? So it's like a both and. So, and you can even take a test on that and it can rate you like where you're at. And so I need to go back and like every 6 months, I try to go back and take it and see like, has that needle moved at all? And where are the areas? So those are great too. Cause it's like, again, what kind of things do I want to be growing into? And then Slight Edge. So good. So good. Okay. All right. I'm going to share. I feel like I've got a lot. So another thing about kind of this muscle, when you think about like business wise, Leaders Retreat. Y'all, I have not earned Leaders Retreat. I have under 700 credits right now. Okay. Like I have not, as your leader, I have not earned Leaders Retreat. So but here's the thing that I have learned. And this is just, I want to use this to encourage you because, and I was just writing to you, Kendall, about this on the team page. She was like, can I actually like keep up with this, signing up this many people? Y'all, like 2 years ago in August, I hit the leaders board because I signed up like 12 preferred customers in a week because I was working my booty off to earn Leaders Retreat. It was a wild time. I sent videos to friends like saying, thank you so much for being a great friend and investing in me. I have this opportunity to go and hear like incredible speakers for free. And I know how much this is going to bless my family and this business that we're launching after we've moved back from the States. Like, hey, it may or may not be something for you, but if you would be interested to spend $75 on products, I would love to give you a great deal. And I just shared with them like the win-win-win. You get to help me invest in me. There's a video about it that I just did that. And I had 12 people jump on. I had like 20 who didn't, or 30 who didn't, but I was like on fire for it. So because of things like that, and I've exercised that muscle before, I know that Leaders Retreat is still doable for me. I know that Leaders Retreat is doable for Kendall, for Sandy, for Leah. Like I know that. And it's not because like, you sit back and you let somebody else do it or think, oh, I'll just pray and it'll come into action. It's because I've done the things. I'm growing my friend space. I'm leveraging myself as a servant in my community, trying to add value to other people's lives. I share consistently about Plexus. I don't think anyone on my Facebook doesn't know that I share Plexus. Like setting like healthy work boundaries. So it's those like exercising that muscle. You do get to the point where you're like, I don't know, can I do this? And you're like, yes, of course you can do this, because it's like, it does shift. It does shift. And community is awesome for that. So just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. Like I'm still working for sure. Like you see what my goals are for the week, and okay. So that's, I want to hear what came up for you guys with the 10 good things others do with money and the 10 things for money in life, like in your dream income, those ideas, those lists that Kendall had you do last week. What were things that were surprising good? Did you guys share them? This is like the revelation there. If you didn't, do it this week. Okay. So good. I do want you guys like pull out your calendar, set aside a little time to do that, because I think that is a very worthwhile exercise, because you start to get to the end of the list and you realize, oh, I gotta think a little more to get 7, 8, 9, 10. Totally. I think for me, something that came up when I did this was I realized how the people influencing large change in communities are the ones with money. And I was like, shoot, like just the reality, they're the ones that have a ton of money. Like Kendall said, the person who shared, it was, oh, the kid's going to camp. Like, that's huge change. And that doesn't mean, that's not the excuse for us if we're not making $70,000 a month. There's not a get out of jail free card. You don't have to, make impact, but it does flip that. I don't have to, like, just the dreaming, and then when I have more, I can give more. But what that means on a influence level, it's a little scary, for sure. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share this last thought, and there's a lot going on here. Okay. Then we're going to talk about some homework. So I love, like, Kendall was talking about scarcity mindset, and like those just everything that she shared was so spot on. And seriously, Kendall, well, she's having to talk to him. Okay. Thank you so much for leading us in that and using your skill sets and your passions. Just amazing having you share with us the last 2 weeks and do that. I know it was a huge blessing to me. So, scarcity is a victimhood mindset. And that, I think y'all have been hitting this victim and victor, because, like, honestly, my husband called me out on it the other night and was like, that's victim mindset, because I've been calling him out on it. And I was like, you think so? Okay. Like, I was kind of like, oh no, I'm a victim, like I went deeper into victimhood. Oh no, I'm a victim. But I was kind of like, okay, that was a phrase. I was thinking victimhood, but just thinking about, like, I shared this post on my Facebook page, and I just thought that little cycle of victim versus victor, right? A victor, like victory. Just that, like, why do bad things always happen to me? Like, y'all, I heard somebody say to me the other day, well, I just don't know what to do to help this person. I don't know what to say to someone when they send me a message like this. I don't know what to do, how to help her get a return on products. Actually, the person was just kind of like, anyways. And she was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, okay, well, she was like, every time I send my people to customer service, they never get any help. I was like, every time? Really? And to me, I was like, victimhood, man. And I said, shoot, are there any places, like, that you can go besides calling customer service that can be helpful to you to figure out how someone can get a return? And I just literally was like, I'm so sorry that you feel like Plexus customer service has never been helpful to you. Like, I was just like, I can't deal with that victim mindset, like, we all have those moments, but I'm like, really? Okay. Never been helpful. It's just like, hey, I've been there. And so I think that's, you get sensitive, you call it out. So just kind of chewing on that. Whereas victor is abundance mindset. Like, there is enough to share. I'm not at a deficit. I'm not in danger of running out of groceries and never being able to fill back up. And those are areas that I notice in my day-to-day, like, time. We can have this abundance or scarcity mindset there, right? Like, I'm going to be able to do what I need to do today. And having that abundance, like, not the most important things that I need to do are going to get done today. I'm going to be able to do that. So it's kind of a challenge for us there. Y'all, I'm going to share some homework and then we'll have a few thoughts. Okay, so this week, I got some good stuff. Weekly accountability sheet. I actually want you on one of those blocks, like if it's the second half of the 3-way messages, I want you to write 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I want you to share what your focus was for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 this week. Like, we're implementing that. So figure out what your thing is that you're working on or that you have been working on. If it's do the high five, wake up at whatever time, exercise, just write that in there. Okay. So we can all see that too. Gratitude daily. Keep doing that. I have actually found I need to list about 10 things to really get, like, groove in for gratitude, because 3 things sometimes is easy and I don't feel the shift. 10 things is like, no, it really was a good day. Honor your sacred work hours. I'm taking you back to those things you had set aside when we started the group. sacred work hours, that you had 5 of them. Honor those this week, y'all. You are worth it. You have a gift. We have a gift to share. Show up well for those hours so then you can show up well in your other areas of life. Kudos. Like Leah hopping on, Kristen were hopping on yesterday morning. We've had a lot of calls lately, and y'all are showing up for them. Leah was here, Kristen was there, and they're accountability partners. So I was like, yeah, go you. Just the beauty of it, So we're still doing the high 5, but seriously, do the high 5. 90 days consistency. It's going to change things when you stick with it. I'll send this out to you. Utilize an event this week, okay? Trial group, be involved, not just messaging, not just tagging your person, message them, be excited. What are you loving about this? We've got a healthier and happier event, new graphics, different look coming up on the 20th. Start inviting people to that. And this is a new one. Add 15 or more new friends on Facebook or social media. I have noticed, looking at our reflections, that is an area we are low in as a group, is expanding our network. And so I want you to get intentional about adding 15 friends or more. You're going to watch, Jessica Heffley has a video on Team Plexus provision called, I think it's like how to get a diamond on your team. And she talked about, or how to get a jewel on your team. She talked about like the people that are underneath her now, who are jewels, who are diamonds, what she did and kind of what those relationships looks like. And she walks you through the different women. And it's just super encouraging to hear the different stories and kind of the boldness that she went after things. So I want you to watch that. That's your like video training podcast thing for the week. And then you are going to reach out to one person who scares you, who you think would be a rockin' it business builder, kind of after watching Jessica's video. And I think we're going to skip. Next week, we're going to talk about avoiding and resisting and frustrations. So last homework assignment, besides the verse and finish reading the book and your song, last one is I want y'all to share a win that you've experienced over the last few weeks, a quote or a resource on Abundance Collective. Sometime in the week, doesn't matter when, you just share something that's you've read, a quote, a win that you've had, a resource that you love on the team page. And then your personal page. I would encourage you, it will probably be applicable. Especially if it's a win or if it's a quote, it will be applicable, but do both. Even if they're different things, because you guys have this, like Sandy said, love the community, love the connection, and other people are missing that. And the only way they'll know how good that is, they'll see in another, couple of months when they're like, wow, why are Leah and Sandy and Holly like just killing it? It's because you showed up to be consistent months and months prior, right? Grow yourself, find accountability, those kinds of things. So we kind of want to create a little FOMO too, to be honest, right? People want to be like, oh man, I didn't do that accountability group. Oh, maybe that was, I should have, or maybe next time I will, but share what we're learning. We want to add value and bring that to them too.
Can you guys smile for me really quick? Oh, here, you want a minute?
Oh, yay. Okay. So sweet.
Screenshot, because I was like, well, this is a huge win for me. This is a huge positive area for me, like Sandy was saying. So I was like, well, screw it. I got to get a screenshot.
That's awesome.
Stories.
That's awesome. Yep. Okay. That's what I have for us. So we still have about 4 minutes. I will hang out. We went a little bit longer today. I will hang out, and I would love to hear other things coming up for y'all. What have been the hardest homework assignments, or homework assignments? I'll call them homework. I'm fine with that. I don't know if you are. A little bit of work, car work. Sometimes you're doing it in the car. What have been hard things? What have been easy things for you? I'm just kind of curious. Oh, good. It's all been easy. I'm so glad. We'll just do more next week.
I would say this is the easy part, showing up at 6 a.m.
Oh.
And then the hard part is me. Oh, wait, this is always my harder part is I can absorb, but to implement is where, because it's easy for me to think I'm doing the things, I'm working my business because I'm here right now, but I'm not. Like, this is the absorption. Now we need the application each day and the implementation. So that's always been my hard thing. So thank you for holding us accountable to turning in our homework. I'm going to turn in my money homework assignments because I've done it before. I've already done it when we did our other accountability group. I'm going to rewrite it and screenshot it and put it in here just so I can have that accountability. And it's a good reminder too, rewriting it.
Yep. I've been thinking about getting a Start Today journal from Rachel Hollis. I've heard a few podcasts and like, she just basically like repeat where I think it's not special. I might listen to it. I might be able to just make my own, but I might buy it too. Why not? Support someone. Yeah. Implementing is harder. And I think when that gets hard too, is that like go back. I have a thing written down that I've got on my wall by my other office, the one that's actually not in the bathroom that you'll never see me sit at. And it's where I work like nap time. And it lists all of the reasons why I'm doing this and what I want to see continue, because I have found I just need that grounding sometimes, you know, and like you're sitting there working and your eyes look up and you're like, okay, you know, you can get lost in the little and think that that's just it. So is that you showing us yours? That's awesome.
Yeah, because the title senior goal doesn't make me want to go for it. Like the other things, the incentives even sometimes don't make me want to go for it. So I'm like, why do I want to go for it? And it made me stop and think. And I said, financially bless my family. And I just like put that as the first one because let's get real. More options, pay off debt, spiritually grow my leadership skills. I'll take a screenshot and put it in later. But I had to do exactly what you're saying. I was like, I'm not going to go for it if I don't have those reminders of
other motivators,
the whole umbrella of why I want to go for it.
Yeah. So true. So, all right, y'all, go forth, be accountable, be abundant. So proud of you guys, really. So, all right. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you on social media. Bye.